Hey everyone, bloodmako here, and this is my run of Transcendence Tier 3, the left gate or Crucible 1. So for my team comp, I brought Leo, Sephiroth, and Sepher. Yes, I actually got Sepher's weapon, LD weapon on my free daily pool. So basically after I used my 600 tickets, or 600-ish tickets, the daily pools reset, so I had one more free pool, and then I pulled it, and I got a go up. So I was thinking to myself, hey, it'd be pretty funny if I got the LD weapon after spending so much tickets on him. And then go up, it came out, it cracked open, and I saw Sephiroth's weapon, and I was like, I just waste all my tickets. Nah, I shouldn't think that way. I mean, I got Leo's burst after all, right? And it turns out to be very, very useful here in this particular Transcendence stage, because the requirement for this left gate is to bring a yellow crystal character. So and the Orb Condition is to launch the character, launch the boss. So I'm pretty sure you can actually do the fulfill the Orb Condition with just calls alone. Like you just bring a bunch of calls that can launch the bosses, like Cloud, Ramza, and who's the last one? Maybe Kais, and then just bring a yellow character. Alternatively, you can just bring Kais, and then you're good. You can just make anyone into a launcher. But yeah, this gate is basically made for Leo. If you think about it, launch plus yellow. It's either Kais or Leo. That fulfills both at least, And I actually went with an initial team comp of instead of Sepher, I went with Kurasame, and Sepher was supposed to be my Gate 2 team, but we'll talk about it when we're at the Gate 2. Anyway, guys, this is going to be a really long video. It's about 50+ minute video. Yeah, it's a really long video because I can basically combine all 3 gates. But I'll put the timestamp at the bottom in the description so that for you guys that just want to skip to the particular gate, or let's say Gate 3, the second wave, it's easier for you guys. So anyway, this fight is actually the easiest among the entire, among all 3 gates. They do a bunch of HP damage, especially when you see the all. They sometimes do Blaze Breath or Blaze Breath Plus, and it's a pain if you don't have a healer like what I'm running. But with Odin's, Alexander summon, you basically regen enough such that you will be full the next time they do another HP attack. Unless you're so unlucky they do 2 in a row, which I believe I started off with that, and I still managed to survive. I mean, and a very easy way is just to bring a healer. Replace maybe Sepher with Porum or Warrior Light. I recommend you save Warrior Light for the second gate and use Porum for this particular gate. But again, we'll talk about second gate, because the second gate is a pain. It is way more harder to maintain the orb as compared to this Gate 1 and Gate 3. But Gate 3's orb is a bit wonky. We'll talk about it when we're at Gate 3. So Gate 1. These bosses are from Gao's Lost Chapters. But they are not as tanky as the first wave of Gao's Lost Chapter. They also don't have the AoE HP attack that removes all your buffs as well. So you don't have to worry about that. It's basically just a normal AoE HP attack, and it's only once. So if you're not running a healer like me, Odin works. And I believe I brought Paladin Cecile as my core, so that's another way to ensure that I hit the HP requirement. But if you're running the same comp as me, with Kurasame core, and I can't remember who's my last one. Yeah, I'm running a blank right now. I'm pretty sure we'll see it when I use an LD or the actual core itself. But the bosses are not tanky. They actually melt quite fast. So if you're bringing Tifa for this fight, then yeah. So I brought Kurasame, I brought Kais so that when Leo bursts, we can have the additional Brave Regen. And who was the last one? I can't remember. I mean, I did this over a span of like 4 hours. Ah, there we go, Jack. Yes, Jack. So yeah, basically a bunch of HP up and Brave damage up. Because HP requirement wasn't, I didn't have a problem with it. Because this was not my first run, it was actually my second run. I had to reset the team because Cypher just doesn't work in the second one. Or, I guess you can make him work, it's just a very risky kind of play. But he works better in this boss fight because there's 3 of them and most of it, a few of his skills is pure. I think it's his EX and his LD as pure. I'm not really sure, as in like the damage is not split. But again, he does a bunch of AoE damage, so you know he works well here. But in general, these bosses, all they do is, if it's all, it's a AoE HP attack. If it's a single target, it is chances is I think it's called Spring Shot Plus. There's one called Spring Shot Plus. I remember it because it was so annoying. And one more that will delay your party member. I can't remember if it's Spring Shot, but there's 2 moves. One is just a normal Brave damage, I guess. And I don't believe it's a high turn count, it's just normal Brave damage. Ah, there we go, Kick Turn, yes. That is the one that will delay your party member by 1 turn. So you can kind of time it, you know. If you see them doing a single target, just make sure that that particular party member is you know, in front of one of your other party members, so you know you don't have to worry about anything else. As you don't have to worry about them going too many times. And especially if you're bringing Cypher, you know, he just every action that he does, he will just delay one of them. I'm not so sure about his HP plus, but I know that his C65 doesn't, so mainly his S1, S2, LD and EX. He will always delay them by 1 turn. And if you can time his EX when they are doing their AoE HP attack, they will basically do 0 Brave, but just a trickle of HP attack. So that's one way to deal with it if you're not running a healer like me. And my strategy for this fight is to actually focus 1 down. Because strangely enough, the boss doesn't really have a rage mechanic when you kill 1 off. There is I mean, you will get an increase in stat at 49%, and if it's the last one. But if there are 2 on the field, there is no reach, or rather no reach mechanic for it. So I would suggest, if you're having issues with this fight, to just focus on 1 down to about either single digit or somewhere slightly below 19%. Then you shift your focus over to the other 2. Because and just let the splash damage kill him off. Because with Paladin Cecil, if you're running a Paladin Cecil call, you can take multiple HP dumps, and he will just heal it up with his call. So you don't have to worry so much about it. But yeah, that is a very simple way of dealing with this boss fight. And basically that's the entire mechanics of it. Right now, I believe I'm just setting up for Leo's burst. I was trying to get Kurasame's debuff to 5 stacks. Yeah, I believe it was 5 stacks. Yeah, I got it to 5, which is why you see me sometimes delaying when I use Leo's burst. So I just want to get as much bang for my buck as you would say, you know. Try and get the most out of Kurasame's debuff when I go into burst mode. And you will see that I really focus on just that one particular boss, and that's mainly because I was trying to abuse the tactic of 1 dice, the 2 are still not enriched yet. But okay, so if you don't have Leo, as I said, Kais is a very good choice because of the yellow crystal requirement. I believe you can use Dark Knight Cecil as well, because these bosses can be delayed, so he works fine. Just have to be very careful with their AoE HP attack. But there are ways around it. I mean, you can just delay them, or just delete their turns because you know they're not framed. Then you can just burst with Sephiroth if you have Sephiroth burst. I opted to use Leo because he seems to be the one that has the most damage right now. Then again, I have not really tested for Sephiroth's burst, but I believe I did 2.5 million with this burst sequence. I mean, it could have been more optimized, but I just wanted to kill that particular that middle boss down in particular. I just wanted him to be out there because he is basically the lowest health. But yes, Leo you can replace Kai, Ramza. You know, if you didn't use Cloud for tier 1, you can always bring him here. I use Kai's for tier 1, which is why you don't see me using him with Leo. Tifa works as well because she can launch, and then I believe she sets up the rest for launches also. I mean, it seems to be the thing right now. And oh yes, the nice thing about Leo is that his burst is not exactly pure damage, but it's also not exactly split, because as you saw it was like 190,000. 190, yeah, I think it was 190,000 something like that. But yeah, I can't remember if it was this particular fight that I got 2.5 million, but yeah. Okay, so I apologize for the cut right there. Basically, I had to pause because I had to I was driving because my parents just went for their vaccination, so I was just driving them around, and while waiting I decided to attempt this stage. So that's why you see me pausing here and there. I believe there's another pause at the second gate, mainly because well, we were buying food and I was like, I'm waiting again, so why not give it a shot, you know, just test out the stage. Because gate 2 is one that I had some trouble with. I had to restart I think a few times. I also realized some stuff after some trial and error, but we'll talk about it when I reach that particular fight. So right here, it is mainly just kill the boss before they take another turn. I mean, they can, but at this point of the stage, you are more or less set, because I mean, look at Sephiroth. He has 3 more LD users, so I really don't have to worry about that center boss. In fact, I think Sephiroth has 2 more users of his LD as well. We'll see soon, I guess. Or did I just use bloodmako? I'm not exactly sure, but I believe I went to summon as well. I didn't need to, because as you can see, all the bosses were actually kind of dying already. 2 of them are in the raid, 1 of them is less than 50% health, and I have plenty of turns. I'm not exactly sure about this turn count, but I'm pretty sure I did it in less than 50 turns, so this particular turn count is not a worry. Oh, I made a mistake. I did not bring a Paladin Cecile for this as my call. I actually brought it in the other in another fight, but as you can see, it wasn't really an issue. Basically, Alexandra just healed me up to full. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. And if you are really in a pinch, you can always just summon, because once the animation is all done, he will actually heal your team. So yes, so in this right now that I'm summoning, I basically just want to focus down in and let splash damage kill the rest, especially the center one, which is at 2%. No point setting up a launch or going into a launch with him, because most chances the first move will just kill him. So yeah, I would recommend that you don't have to follow in the same sequence as me, you know, BCA. You can always just do ABC or whatever sequence you like, or whichever monster you don't like. But yeah, I would say focus 1 down first, unless you have that much AoE damage that you don't have to. Then yeah, you're more or less set. You know, the orb is very easy to maintain. I believe it increases by 5 or 10, I can't remember exactly, but as far as I can remember, the orb never went below double digit. So this fight was basically a pushover. My team was definitely too strong. In fact, I believe you can just do it with 2 men, but I would not recommend, you know. Why make life difficult for yourself? Unless you really need to, but yeah. Right, just gonna try and get as much damage in as possible. The Battery is decent because I believe Brave League, which is Kai's LD, is still active. I think it's definitely still active. I mean, the bosses didn't even get to take a turn after Leo's burst. So yeah, and interestingly enough, Leo's burst actually grants your party member an increased Brave cap, because I saw Sepher was at 140 something thousand, you know, which is way more than his high armor allowance. So yeah. So as usual, I mean, this fight is not difficult. I think most of us can clear this. I guess the troublesome one will be 2 and 3, but as usual, I'll just show my artifacts at the end of the fight. And yeah, guys, I guess I'll take a break, a really short break. Oh, okay, no break, I guess. So straight into yeah. So if you guys want to see my sphere and artifacts, just feel free to pause the video, and right, we'll just start this way, right gate for Crucible 2. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me take a sip of water. I've been talking for the past almost 15 minutes, and my mouth is getting a bit dry, and I am not even halfway. I still have another 40 plus minutes to go. Okay, so this fight, the issue I had was the Orb Condition, which is that they do HP damage on your member, but it is reduced. So what it means is that basically this fight is a setup, or is trying to get you to use either Porum or Warrior of Light. Another character that you can, but it might be difficult towards the end, is 9, because 9 with his LD also has HP mitigation damage. So yes, 9 works, but you might think twice about using him. And the reason why you see me breaking them out of order is because I want them to take a turn. I cannot allow them to, I cannot just keep constantly breaking them and delaying them all the way, because then the orb will just basically tick to 0 and everybody will die. So the team comp I'm running, I initially wanted to run 9, but after seeing the amount of HP damage that they do towards the end, I would recommend you bringing her or Porum, because she has some HP mitigation as well with her S2 and her EX. I'm not so sure whether her LD does, because I have not really tested her out. I used her in the challenge quest, but the monsters didn't really use any HP attack, they just died. But yeah, so you know, Warrior of Light just got his LD bots, and he's really viable now with his 15 turn LD buff. And I believe they gave him additional skills, I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember if his S1 had 10, I think it does, but his S2, I remember it being lesser usage, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I used him. He's actually one of my favorite tank. It's just that you will see it, I brought him in wave 3, a bit of a, in gate 3, a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, I brought Warrior of Light there, and he was doing set damage, like his brave hit was single digit sometimes. But yeah, his HP mitigation damage, his HP mitigation is just too good for me to pass on. You know, I'll pass on. I'm too tired to be thinking straight right now. But yeah, okay. Another thing to take note if you're running the same comm as me, or if you're running any comm in general, because the only reason, okay, what I'm trying to say is to actually remove your passive for Odin and sorry, not Odin, Shiva and Ramu. You know, the evasion passive. Because the reason why I'm asking you to remove for your tank or all your party members is because the only reason why the orb count will only increase if it lands the HP attack. So if it doesn't land, let's say it miss, then it will not fulfill the orb condition, which is to take reduce HP damage. So basically, what you're taking is no damage, so the orb doesn't reset. And the orb is difficult to maintain at the beginning of the fight because they tend to do they tend to mix up some just pure brave damage with their pure HP damage from the vessel. So if you see an all, right, it is a guaranteed HP damage. So if you're worried about the orb condition, you see it all coming, you know, you don't have to worry so much already. But if it's a single target, they can do like what you saw, King's Right, which is their only brave attack. I believe their only brave attack, yeah. And it will always be a single target. And another interesting thing is that if one of the boss does HP damage, both their orbs will increase. I mean, the boss that did the HP damage will reduce by 2 and then increase, but the other boss will just immediately increase. So that is another thing to take note. I only realized that somewhere in the middle of the fight. But yes, so one way to deal with this is to try and either break them out of order so you don't have to worry about the orb. Like they will just constantly go and go, so eventually they'll do a HP attack. Or to stagger their turns, so A and then your party member, one or two of your party member, and then B and maybe one of your party member, and then A, B or A again, you know. So that there is always someone, there's always a boss that can increase the orb count. So I'm not exactly sure how much mitigation does Porum do, because I know that Warrior Light is 100%, or as long as the shields amount, it's a bit weird. You know, as long as you have shields or the shield amount is more, I don't really understand. But I know that he basically, as long as the shield is out, I will not die. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much does Porum do. I know that she overheals as well, so that's another thing that helps with this fight. But yes, what you need to worry is that somewhere past, I think the 29% mark, past 30, or I know it's definitely not at 50% or 49%. It is way lower than that. They basically start to just spam HP attacks, AoE HP attacks. So the orb isn't an issue there, it will be more of your health. So if you're running 9, that might be an issue because his LD has only, I think, 4 counts. And as you can see, they basically did like 2 or 3 of the LD already. So that was another cut right there. I explained earlier, but yeah. So I would suggest you either you run 9 with Porum or get another character to run with. I believe Paladin Cecile has some HP mitigation as well. Don't quote me on that, I'm not exactly sure on that. But I used him in my tier 1 as well. So I believe tier 1 or tier 2, I can't remember. Basically when his burst came out in the Transcendence, I used him there. He was too good then, and he's still too good now. I mean, HP mitigation, healing, HP damage up, and enchant. He has the full kit, you know. So if you're on the fence about pulling for Ancestor, I will really recommend that you do, because I mean, him and Warrior of Light are just so good right now. And with the reward that Sephiroth had, Sephiroth now becomes a somewhat decent damage dealer. It really depends on who you compare it to, because if you compare to Tifa, then yeah, he's terrible. But if you compare it to someone like someone that has really drop off, like who should I compare him to? Maybe Vivi. But Vivi does have, you know, ignore defense. Right now my brain is just mush, but yeah, they made him usable, I would say. But okay, yeah, this part of the fight, I use Warrior Light's burst. His burst doesn't do much damage, but it works really well with Tifa, because Tifa always wants brave, and I'm not exactly sure how much skills I have with her, but yeah, she works really well with Warrior of Light, because Warrior of Light just batteries her non-stop. On hindsight, I could have run Butts as well, but I needed someone that's white. Now I think about it, Butts would actually work. And just bring a crew of Salme Core. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm getting beside the point. So yes, just bring Warrior of Light. It makes your life so much easier for this fight. Remove Ramu and Shiva's passive, make sure that the HP always attack always land. But if you're running a Porum, I would say just leave the passives in, because there's bound to be someone that takes damage. I doubt you'll be so lucky to constantly be dodging with all 3 characters. So yeah. Right, if you don't have Warrior of Light Porum, like I'm saying, Gabrov, if you can afford to run him, because I use him in tier 1 as well. Gabrov does have HP mitigation as well. It was his C65, so you might want to run him together with 9 or Porum or someone that has limited users, you know. Maybe not Porum. Porum doesn't really have limited, but yeah, someone like 9. Tifa is right there for damage dealing, so just replace her with any other damage dealer. And Kurasami is there for the HP damage up. I just wanted to use him to, after the rework that he had. Not really rework, his LD bots, yeah. So if you don't want to run Kurasami, there's so many other characters that you can, you know. Trey works as well, because you want them to take as many turns as possible, so his traps will keep triggering. Emperor, traps will keep triggering, you know. I mentioned Trey and his traps, I was like, oh yeah, Emperor has traps too, you know. Yeah. So other than that, once you made to this part of the fight where they actually buff themselves, yeah, most of the time you will just be spamming HP attacks. So you don't really have to break them out of order anymore. You can just break them and just let them go as and when. Because right now you can see the turn count is like 15. The op count is 15, and the other one is at 13. Yeah, 13. So not really in any danger of it hitting to 0. And then you're all set, basically. Just be very careful letting them get too many turns in a row. So maybe you might want to run an enemy call or something, just in case, you know, that you need to delete their turns just for some HP regen or something. I don't know. I had to try and error with this stage a few times, so don't feel bad if you have to do it too. Or you can just run the same combo as me and then, you know, follow what I did, remove the passive, and then you're all set. Break them in order for the very first few parts of the fight, and then after that you don't have to worry so much anymore. But yeah, if you can afford to replace Tifa with one of your damage dealers that have a burst, then by all means. Because Warrior of Light's burst didn't do much, and it will help a lot if I was doing more in the burst sequence. Basically, they'll die faster. You know, if you have someone like I think Terra and Garland was used in tier 2. Maybe Butts, you know, for the amount of regen that he can give. Who else was Kim? You do not want to run Onash, definitely not, because you want them to be able to hack. If they are doing an all, and Onash just puts Terra on them, then you're screwed. If you want to run Elnash, I suggest you put him in the first stage, in the left gate. And oh right, I wanted to talk about Cypher here as well. The reason why I didn't run Cypher was because he delayed them too many times. Every time he took a turn, he would delay them, and the orb basically ticked down to 0. I had trouble trying to let them take a turn with Cypher in the team, which is why I shifted Kurasami and Cypher. If you want to try using Cypher here and Kurasami in the other one, in the left gate, then by all means. It's just that you need to manage it way better than what I was doing. And also Kurasami is so good because in when I first used him in the left gate, I actually took way lesser turns than what I currently had finished on the one that I recorded. I believe I finished at 29, 26 or around 30 turns, but the previous or the one that I recorded with was I think 40, I can't remember. But yeah, I took way more turns without Kurasami's debuff immediately active. That was the only difference. But yeah, it makes the turn count so different. So yeah, we are more or less done with the fight. I believe Kurasami was not able to kill him, but Tifa definitely finished the job. Then my artifacts again, as usual. artifacts first, always at the end of the video. Right, tier 3, gate 3, center gate, whatever. I decided to run, I had a really bad start as you can see. If the Regen had proc towards the end of the fight, you know, or rather in the next fight, it'd be so much better because surprise surprise, Tifa actually took another HP damage in the previous fight, in the next fight, mainly because she had no shields up. The shield actually got broken, and that's the amount of insane damage that that stupid boss was doing. But anyway, wave 1. Okay, wave 1. This I can't remember which bosses, whose bosses were these, but they are significantly more tanky than left and right gate, especially if you compare it to the left gate. They are definitely way more tanky. So I had initially run Warrior of Light, Sephiroth and Tifa. So my only healing was from Warrior of Light's EX. And we'll get to the second wave when it comes, but we'll talk about the first wave right now. So the first wave at 49% health, the bosses will actually gain an aura, and they will say to do 100k with knockback damage. And if not, basically you're just hitting once. So I did not think it through when I was doing this fight with Sephiroth in my team. What I could have done was just continue the fight, because Tifa with her EX will basically do way more than 100k. So you don't have to worry about that. You know, you don't have to worry about launching them with 100k. And that Sephiroth and War of Light will basically give themselves so much brave that the first initial hit doesn't really matter. There is a significant drop in HP damage done, but it is not so much to the point where it warrants you to switch out Sephiroth. So that was one of the mistakes I made. I mean, don't get me wrong, Leo is good and he does help a lot with his launches and stuff. But I wanted to try and showcase more of Sephiroth, you know. But oh well, what's done is done. I'm not going to go back in just to redo this stage. I actually did this stage I think 2 or 3 times. One time in this first wave, and one more time when I hit the second wave thinking that I did something wrong, which I believe I did, but I'll explain it in the second wave itself. So yes, right here you see it, they will do their tail crush and then immediately go into their charge form. So their tail crush will remove any buffs that you have that is not framed. So that was a pain because I wanted to keep Warrior of Light's initial brave high. You know, the buff that he does with his S2. But the good thing is that with his LD active, no matter how much damage they do, no matter if you break with the shield up or not, and there's a very good chance that you will break with the shield up, because for some reason their spear ray or whatever it's called goes through the shield and just immediately it just hits your character ignoring the shield. But with the shield active, in fact it is better that way because the shield will still be active, so they will not do any damage to you. You don't have to worry so much about that spear charge thing. Basically, if one is charging, they will actually gain a lot of I'm not exactly sure how much, but it seems to be so much defense that Leo and Tifa are not doing cap brave. I mean, let's not talk about Warrior of Light, but yeah, they were doing about, I think Tifa was doing about 4,000 only. And granted, I did not have any brave damage up or HP damage up, but yeah, so if they are in charge form, I just recommend you to hit the other one. I guess I just talk about the entire mechanics of this fight. They do their breath barrage. If you have shields, you don't have to worry so much about it. If you're running Porom, she will brave your party members to the point where it doesn't even matter how much damage they're doing anymore. Yeah, run Warrior of Light or Porom. In fact, if you can, run both. It helps so much with the next fight. Then you're good to go with this fight actually. But okay, let's talk a bit more about this fight. Towards the end of this fight, the bosses were actually their brave cap actually increases from 600,000 to all nines, so 999,999, and there is almost no way of shaving it without gravity or instant break, because like I said, Tifa was doing 4,000, so unless you use something like her LD or a bunch of her S2, there's a good chance you're not breaking the boss at least. Or maybe if you summon with imperils and stuff. You know, there are many ways to break it. It's just I didn't have really any options here. I could just LD spam with Leo, but you know, what's the point? These are not even the real bosses. They're just tanky minions, you know. So yeah, if you're running someone like Porum, I'm not exactly sure you can tank out the damage, because as you can see, I didn't run Porum. I was running a Roar of Light. But if you're running Roar of Light, then you don't have to worry. With his LD active, even with 999,000 damage, you will still be taking 0 damage, 0 HP damage. So that's something to look forward to, at least with the Roar of Light. As you can see, yes, Tifa was doing 1 with that stupid aura up. It was actually a mistake on my part. I should have just targeted A, so that you know, I don't have to worry about her doing 1s. I mean, yes, she does brave herself, but the damage you can see was there was definitely a significant drop there. But yeah, the reason why I ran Tifa instead of running a triple burst, you know, with Sephiroth, was I believe her damage output is just way more than Sephiroth. Here's a very good example of Tifa just, you know, with her EX just removing the stupid aura that the boss have. So yeah, you don't have to worry about launching if you have Tifa in your team, because you can just press her EX and then one of the aura will immediately be down. You can just focus on the guy until Tifa gets her EX again, because they only do it once the entire fight, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Maybe they also get it in the charge form. I'm not sure. I didn't really try launching them when they're in the charge form. But yeah, I mean, that's something you can try out. I basically reached the point where if they're charging, I will just ignore them and focus all my attacks on the other one. Let splash hit the one that's charging, but it's not so important that to try and reduce the brave. I tried, believe me, I tried. But I realized that there wasn't much point to it. I can just eat the damage and not worry about the brave reduction that they have. And there was the single digit damage that I was talking about in the earlier part of the video. Where I did 2 in the air. I've never seen 2. You know. I've only seen 1, and it's either 1 or cap, you know, and some numbers in between here and there. But I've never seen such a nice two number, you know, a single digit 2. I thought that was pretty funny. And I was like, they really are not showing any any love. I mean, he's one of my favorite characters, and he's doing 2 in the air. That's sad, man. But yeah. So I will recommend that you save some of your HP damage up calls for the next fight. They are not tanky as compared to this first boss, but they can still be a pain towards the end with all the brave gain reduction and brave damage reduction, you know. So I believe I only threw Gabrov's call here, and I saved my burst for the boss, the second wave. I saved my burst and my summon for the second wave, because the the orb requirement for the second wave is such a pain to deal with, I feel. I mean, I saw that Thornberry Troop, they recommended, you know, just slapping Porum or Rosa's Refined Sphere on any one of your characters, but my characters are already fully slotted, so that is one thing to you know, for you to take note if you have difficulty maintaining the orb condition in the second wave. You can always just try and put the sphere on. I don't know. I didn't try, so I'm not exactly sure if it works or not. And also, I'm not sure which slot that it goes into. I tried to find it, but I decided to use calls instead. So the left boss is more or less dead already. It's in a single target, a single digit health. So you see that I start to switch my focus to A, yeah, to A, who has still have about 21%. But interestingly, with Tifa's Beat Rush Plus, I can't remember if it was Beat Rush Plus or her LD. It does about 10%. I believe it was LD, but yeah, it does about 10%. So that's something nice to know. Yeah, there we go. So it was Beat Rush with S2. It does about 10%. So here you go. Cap Brave damage. Cap Brave. Okay. And still I'm receiving 0 HP damage. So basically, just try and get your shields to stay up as long as possible. If it's Warrior Light's turn, don't be afraid to spam shields. I had so much at the end of the fight. I believe I had 6 more, or was it 4 more? I can't remember. Either way, at the end of the fight, I still had quite a few more. So you know, feel free to just spam with him. You don't have to worry about using a HP blast with him. The only issue that I faced was Tifa running low on her skills. Running low, but not exactly 0. Because I used one of her LD in this fight, and then one more, the remaining 2 in the next fight. And I basically hold her HP full throttle until I needed to refresh it. So yeah, that is one of the way that I dealt with the limited usage for Tifa, or rather how often Tifa goes in this fight. But yeah, another thing I would suggest is you use all your C65 with Tifa right here. You know, refresh all your Beat Rush here, so that you don't have to worry about taking a free turn with the orb count active in the wave 2, which triggers at about 80%. So you still can use all her C65 before that, which I highly recommend. But try not to use so much after the orb is active, because for me at least, the orb was a pain to deal with. Right, this faceless golf ball snake-like thing. I believe it's a moon, but it looks so much like a golf ball to me. They didn't really go often. I'll be very fair with you. Somewhere along the way, I burst and summon, and they didn't really have. I believe they didn't really go much after that anymore. But yeah, they have AoE HP damage, which is basically very. The name is basically Garnet or Dagger's water move, Deluxe, I think, and it's the plus version, so it's a AoE HP attack, and I do not know how much it does, because when both the bosses did it, it was 0 damage. And right here, yes, here was where HP Regen would be really nice for Tifa. But yeah, for some reason the shield they actually managed to break the shield with that curse magic shit that they do, and Warrior of Light didn't have time to put Taunt up, so Tifa had to eat it. But if you saw the calls that I ran in the beginning of the fight, I actually ran Eco, Gabroth, and Panello. And the reason why I was running Eco and Panello was because I wanted some HP Regen, you know, to deal with the orb condition. And Panello's call, for some reason, just didn't work. I'm guessing because it's not a buff, but I could be wrong. Because when I activated it with Leo, like basically I activate. Her LD doesn't give any HP regen, so it's just her first call. So when I activated her call, it did not increase the orb count, which is why I believe I basically once they hit the 79% mark, the orb will be active. I took a few turns, and then I activated Penelo's normal call and took a few turns, and I was just wondering how come the orb was just not going up. You know, I thought that was pretty strange, but I was also really glad that I brought Eco, because the first time that I tried this and failed was also partly because of Penelo's call not increasing the orb count. I'm not sure why, or if it's a bug or anything, because the orb condition is HP Regen. Okay, so I'm not sure whether it is a passive regen or a burst regen. They are not very specific in that, but yeah, it did not increase with Penelo's call. So I'm guessing it has to be an active buff on that character, because I believe Eco's call. I believe it was at least Eco's call that increases the up count. Yeah, take a look and let me know, man. Because I thought that was really weird of how the mechanics work. Because the Thornberry troop was saying that Porom, which if I remember correctly does burst healing, Porom, Galuf, Ignis, and I can't remember, Ash, I believe that was the last one. Basically makes this call a lot easier. Sorry, not makes this call, make the orb criteria a lot easier. As you can see, with Penelo's call active, the orb is still going down, even though you see I do get HP regen at the end of my turn. And yeah, you saw the orb increase for some reason, even though Gabrov definitely doesn't heal. But yeah, I was really confused there. And then it decreased, so it is definitely not the Penelo call, but something right there actually caused it to increase. I'm not exactly sure what. So I basically waited for Roar of Light's turn, because I wanted to test to see if Eco's call actually fulfill the orb criteria. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. So you see me, I'm trying to get Leo to go after Roar of Light, because Eco's call is on Roar of Light. But it actually really doesn't matter who you put the call on, because Eco grants a buff to the character. All you have to do is just make sure that the buff doesn't run out, or you overriding the buff, which is what I did with Tifa. You know, Tifa has so many issues. She has she took HP damage twice. She erased a HP regen call, a HP regen buff on her. Yeah, you see the orb criteria going up. Sorry, the orb counter going up. So I'm guessing Eco's call works. I was telling my dad, yeah, I'm not sure what's working, but something's working, you know. So I decided, you know, I didn't notice here, but I noticed it in Leo's burst that the orb count was actually increasing. I was like, huh, maybe I should burst a little later, you know. But yeah, whatever, man. I mean, I had to burst here, I guess, because I was trying to think if I was able to kill the bosses before they take another turn. But yeah, if they're doing it at all, right? I mean, when they frame their turns and they do an all attack, it is basically the move that I was telling you about, the Deluge, DELUGE. That I have no idea how to pronounce it. Basically, Garnet's water move. Yeah. With Royal Light Shields, you don't have to worry. With Porom, I don't think you have to worry, but just pay closer attention to your health, because both of them will be doing the plus version. I'm not exactly sure why it's the plus version, but yeah, I believe maybe because the non-plus version is just a brave damage. So yeah, you know, your standard Leo burst sequence. Try and get as much damage in as possible. Try and launch them as much as possible. If I had a Kai's call somewhere, it would be really nice to use it before this fight, before the burst. But I decided that Gabrov's 2 HP damage up call is way better. You know, if not, I would have run someone like Cross on me. I believe I would not have run Kai's either way. But yeah, you also notice that we are doing way lesser damage than we did at the beginning of the game. Sorry, at the beginning of this particular wave, and that's because for some reason the boss has so much Brave mitigation that even in the burst sequence, you see I'm only doing 2000 damage. Ridiculous, man. But yeah, like I was saying in at Guild 1, Leo's burst actually causes your party members' Brave cap to increase as well. So somewhere along the way in the summon, Tifa was at 140,000. So the damage is so nice, especially on these bosses that towards the end just doesn't seem to want to die. You know, it's so annoying. But yeah, right here I managed to get the orb to increase after the burst sequence. Something that I did was right. I believe it's equal core, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so I decided, you know, I will hold off the summon and only use the summon when I need to, or towards the end of the fight. You know, if I'm not able to kill the boss within 11 orb count, then just before it takes down, I will just summon. So just, you know, do the additional damage, see if I'm able to kill them in the summon sequence. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this turn of events. You know, the orb increasing, even though I have no idea what's causing it to work. And I guess you can run Elnash here, because it doesn't matter if they take a turn or not, as long as you are the one that gets the HP Regen. So yeah, if you want to run Elnash, I believe he'll make this fight way easier, because you don't have to worry about them taking a turn and stuff, you know. Right, I forgot to also mention that when they hit the 49% mark, they will frame their turns and can only be delayed by breaking them. That was they will also delay themselves. So that is one of the ways to know that yes, you will see this move coming soon. But yeah, I believe there is another threshold for it. I'm not exactly sure what is the threshold, but I know that they will say raiding a powerful attack. So that's when you want to make sure that your shields are active, your HP mitigation is active, you know, stuff like that. But because of how much damage I did, I basically pushed them into the next threshold. So they just both of them basically just started spamming their AoE HP attack, which was one of the issue. Not really an issue lah, but yeah, it's not an issue at all, man. I didn't have any issue with that particular move. But for someone that's not running Royal Light, he might face issue. So right there, you actually saw that I was checking. I was just making sure the turn count is fine, you know, the HP requirement is fine, stuff like that. My calls, I was running Eco and Penelo. I would suggest you just remove Penelo and run another HP damage up character. Maybe Paladin Cecil. You know, he can overbuff your health also, just in case you do take some HP damage. But yeah, I mean, look at that. If a 999 doesn't even break or shield, what makes you think 500k is able to, you know? So yeah, I wasn't really worried about the fight at this point, because I saw that they're just going to constantly just spam their AoE HP attacks. But I was more concerned of the turn count. But when I saw the turn count was 100, I was more or less at ease really. So I just summoned for the fun of summoning, or rather to be able to increase the amount of damage that my party members do in the summon phase. Because if your summon is upgraded, is that the right word? Well, if you have finished your divine summoning farming, then your character will be doing increased brave, or will have an increased brave cap. Like Tifa had 140,000. So yeah, I mean right now she really has 130,000 due to Leo's burst being active. But yeah, I should have summoned earlier so that Tifa will do more damage. That was another one of my mistakes. Anyway, the right here the bosses are in the raid already. They're dying, they're dead, they just don't know it yet, you know. I have more or less discussed the mechanics that I know of, at least for these particular bosses. If there's any more, I'll definitely put in the description below. You don't have to bring a launch character for this. If you want to, you can just bring a launch call and then you know, maybe use the launch core or Tifa for the first wave. The second wave, there's no launch requirement. It's basically trying to get you to use Porom. But yeah guys, I've been talking for about 50 plus minutes. Almost an hour in fact. We just hit the 55-minute mark. So yeah, almost an hour already. And yeah, I'll definitely put timestamps. I'm not planning to fast forward this video because there may be some parts of the fight that you want to pay additional attention, you know, and increasing the speed will not help that at all. So I'll just put the timestamps, and you guys can just, you know, fast forward to wherever you need you all need to be, you all need advice or just want to watch this. But I'll definitely recommend you bringing Orb of Light because the amount of HP damage that these two waves do is basically insane. I'm not sure whether Porom is able to heal that much up, you know. But then again, I didn't really use her, you know, I didn't really test her out. I just pull her and use her for the challenge quest, that's it. So yeah. I did see that she was giving lots of brave out to, like, lots of battery to the other party members. But I didn't really notice whether she actually healed them in the LD phase. I believe she does. But how much she heals and how much mitigation she provides, that I'm not sure. So I suggest you do your research first if you're going to run her, because this entire fight is just to show you that you don't really need Porom for this. But yeah, finally the last boss is dead, and my artifacts and spheres are exactly the same, but I'll just show you at the end of the video as usual. I hope you guys are able to clear this. And yeah guys, finally I'm done. I'm done talking, and I hope you guys are able to clear this as well.